Yay! There we go. And there we go. Okay, now here's the actual question. How do I skip again? Why?
For you, it should be Y. I usually actually swap it because I usually play with auto on. So I usually set it so that I actually swap skip and auto because I like the auto button to be right there and skip to be what's it, ZR instead because I use it less. But that's me.
But that's you.
Yes. I tend to forget that that's a custom setting from me because that's what I think that's how the Vita used to have it.
I mean, that would make sense.
If not the Vita, then the PSP. Like there was some former system where I like picked that up from and I preferred it. And I don't know why they've made sort of this the standard instead.
Does Vita have 2 shoulder buttons on each side, or is it only one? Because I know PSP was only L and R.
I think it might have been just. Let me check.
Honestly, I've never owned a Vita, so I legitimately do not know. Like, I've seen a Vita a few times, and that's about it.
No, there's only the LNR.
Okay.
But I think it has because you can touch the screen.
Oh yeah, it had like a touch screen
or
like
a button on the back or something.
Yeah, there's like a button. There's like a thingy, like a touchpad or something on the back.
Yeah.
Because that's what they implemented for the PS4 and PS5 was that touchpad, basically. Okay, are we ready to skip?
Until we hit the part to not skip, yeah.
Are we ready to not voice things for a little bit?
For a little bit.
Well, that's weird.
Hmm.
It's not skipping past this.
Oh, just hit A fast.
That was weird.
I don't know if you can skip quickly through those sections.
I only had to hit A once.
Oh. We want to board the train.
What, we don't want to leave the station?
We want to board the train.
Why did I say leave the station? We didn't follow a guide last time. I just don't remember why I said leave the station.
No, I think I had the guide up, and then I was just like, we should leave. And you didn't have an opinion at the time.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
I'm getting on the train.
Right. Look out for her, Victor. Tell Van Helsing to do the same.
I guess it's dangerous no matter where she goes. I'll do everything I can to protect her.
Victor nods, and Lupin's group leaves. Van Helsing joins me and Victor on the platform. I see you've decided to come with us. Oh, I guess because leaving the station means I get to be with Impy?
Like a moment.
I guarantee that you'll be safe. Just don't get in our way.
Don't worry. I can defend myself.
Hopefully it's not all talk.
If it is, that means you are a shit teacher since you're the one who taught her to defend herself.
Yep!
Shall we board then? We still have much to do.
About nothing?
Uh-huh. About nothing. Totally.
That's a book, right?
Much ado, not to do.
Close enough.
Slightly different meanings.
Close enough. I follow Victor and Van Helsing. I look up at the massive machine one last time before boarding the train car. It almost feels like I'm being devoured.
Train go, nom, nom, nom.
What are we playing? Final Fantasy?
That's what trains do, right? They go, nom, nom, nom.
Maybe in Final Fantasy.
Nom, nom, nom.
God. I would hope I don't get nom nommed by a train.
In this game.
In anything. I shake my head to dispel this awful image and step aboard. We board the last car of the train. Once our objective begins, once our plan begins, our objective will be to lure the guards to this car and disconnect it, guards and all. There are already a few passengers on board, and I hear chattering all around me.
This is what it's like inside. It's so strange that so many people can travel all together. I feel a little restless. I know how you feel. I felt somewhat the same way the first time I wrote it.
You'll get used to it soon. It's more important that you be on your guard. We're in a life or death situation now.
I know. We've got to make this happen. I wonder if it will all go as planned. It will. We're gonna make sure it does.
The whistle blows again and the scenery outside the window begins to move slowly. Let's see if I can press the skip button. Ooh.
No.
Nope.
We were at a different part last time. Remember?
Nope. That was like...
Yeah, you don't remember. That's correct.
That was like 5 months ago.
Probably. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. We always take a while on the first plate. Yes.
The train is finally moving. A regular series of vibrations shakes my body. This sensation makes me more nervous. We leave the station and pass through the city, and it suddenly becomes dark outside. The moon shines over a bare field of grass. At first, Van Helsing and Victor go over the plan again and again, but eventually they fall silent. They're probably lost in their thoughts. Will I soon be faced with the answers to some of my mysteries? My poison and the people who have information about my family.
The stream on Discord has frozen.
Might be on your side?
I'm stuck back on the train is finally moving.
Yeah, my view is...
I believe you, but I'm giving you the heads up.
Let me...
My side's frozen. I've been having some internet issues.
Let me see if moving the location that we're connected to helps. Yeah, I mean, even my side saying I currently have reduced our audio quality. I don't know if that's because of my side or because of whatever server I'm hitting.
I don't know.
Are you at
your audio sounds fine to me. It's just that
the
video is behind.
Yeah, I mean, Discord's not the best with video.
Yeah. Well, again, like I said, I've been having internet issues this morning as well, so could also just be my internet provider being a butt again.
Yeah.
Yet again, and again, and again, and again, and again.
It's not like we stream 3 times a week or anything, internet.
No. Not if they have anything to say about it. This is aphobic of you, Comcast.
Dot. Gosh dang it. Oh.
It moved. I'm caught up for now.
Okay. The train eventually comes to a stop. The passengers exit one after another. Finally, our kidnapping mission has begun. Does it seem
we're meeting a child, and that's not the one we're kidnapping? Or rather, we're meeting a potato, but that's not the one we're kidnapping.
Dot. Sometimes when I press A, it just doesn't want to continue.
Womp. That's not good.
What's not good?
Dot. It not continuing?
Yeah, I mean...
You agree, right? That's not good.
Yeah, like, sometimes I'll press it and it doesn't do anything, and I'll press it again and then it continues, and I'm like, what game? What are you doing? Why are you eating an A button press?
It's high.
It has the munchies?
Yeah.
Dot. A while after that, we conceal ourselves behind the seats in the now quiet train car, and wait for the train to depart. We had departed with the other passengers. Once the conductor's inspection of the train finished, we snuck back aboard. We sit still, waiting for the right moment. Then, the train begins moving again. Now, this train has turned into a prison on wheels. That sounds like the lamest thing to say.
Uh-huh. Van Helsing, the lamest thing.
Like, oh, this is a prison on wheels.
Then you just go, Van, why are you so dramatic?
Van Helsing says this quietly as he unpacks the weapons he had been hiding.
Go on, I dare you. Ask Van Helsing why he's such a dramatic bitch. I'm curious how that turned out.
A shotgun pointed at you.
Possibly. Stuck here as well, Van Helsing.
Victor is holding the detonator given to him by Impy tightly. We have no reason to try to flee. This time, we are the hunters.
The vampire hunters?
Yes, we are the vampire hunters.
I pray we get through this without being overrun. AC, are you ready? Yes, I'll stay hidden. If something happens to you two, I'll assess the situation and take appropriate action.
Good. Ideally, you won't have to do anything but watch. Van Helsing looks out the window. There is a windmill on a nearby hill, a landmark Lupin had told us about. When the windmill is out of sight, that's our cue to take action. The blades of the windmill are spinning rapidly. The wind must be very strong. Lupin and Impy are supposed to attack the train from the ornithopter. I hope they'll be alright. None of us can hide our nervousness as the moment approaches. Soon. Very soon. And then... Victor, now! At Van Helsing's command, the bombs set in the car ahead of us go off one after another. The car shakes violently. The light and heat reach as far as our car, even though none of the bombs were set in here.
That was a huge explosion. Won't the train break?
Hey, you seem to be pretty caught up. Not that far
Yeah,
behind.
I'm working for right now. We'll see how long it lasts. It is working for right now. It's fine. Those bombs I have made have little destructive power, but release a lot of light, smoke, and noise. I hope that will draw out at least a few of its Twilight guards.
If only it was that easy. Twilight is not made up of incompetence. If any of the guards are particularly skilled agents. We hear footsteps approaching the door.
I'm like, are we sure that they're not incompetent though? They're bad guys. They have bad guy aim.
Not every bad guy is incompetent. Just like most.
I think they still have bad guy aim.
Well, when they're fighting, like the legend Van Helsing.
Van Helsing used to be one of them, but he was the best of them.
Lupin.
Lupin is a common thief.
Uh-huh. Victor.
What are you talking about? Victor doesn't punch or kick. He doesn't fight
He
that
just
way.
throws bombs at people. And Impy.
Fine. They should be able to deal with that if they're so elite.
Yeah, they can deal with Impy, maybe, sometimes.
No, Impy's got vampire powers.
We hear footsteps approaching the door to this car. Victor and Van Helsing stand in the middle of the car with their weapons out, and I hide in the rear, behind them. Those are some fancy potions.
They're so colorful.
Double-sided.
Glowy.
Double-sided bombs.
Wow.
Then, countless soldiers appear. They look just like the ones that attacked me in the port area of London. These men are indeed Twilight agents.
In case there was any doubt still. Like, you know, just in case you weren't sure. They are indeed Twilight agents.
They have the mask.
Tuxedo mask?
Yeah, they have the tuxedo mask, uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them will obviously have more superior abilities than others. The soldiers are completely focused and showed no hesitation at all. They immediately draw their swords when they say us. And they're now dead.
Well, he's just hitting them with rock salt.
Which could probably still kill if it hits certain areas.
Yeah, but this is Van Helsing. He's not trying to kill them.
However, Van Helsing fires his guns before they can act, taking down some of the guards near the entrance. But they are no match for us. One thing Twilight doesn't teach its agents is that there's always someone better than you.
Van
Yeah!
Helsing, that doesn't count. When you were in Twilight, there was no one better than you.
Why, yes,
Then there was no one better than Twilight because you were in it.
I was about to say, why, yes, Van Helsing. They don't teach you specifically that there's no one better than you, because there is no one better than you at what you do.
Yes.
Van Helsing skillfully wields his shotguns and shoots the soldiers trying to enter the car, one after another. Why we're just getting this now, I don't know, but here we go. Shotgun! Weapons carried by Van Helsing. He always has two on him at all times.
Previous route.
What?
Are we?
No.
I think.
No, because all of the keywords that we've gotten don't highlight. They haven't been highlighting if we've gotten them already.
Maybe I'm getting confused with when I did the future blessings.
Possibly.
Although I haven't done the Van Helsing future blessings yet. At this rate, I'm going to do the future blessings for each one after we finish their route on stream.
That would
just so I remember what the fuck happened.
I mean, that makes sense. You'll finish the game by 2024.
Uh-huh. I'm about that slow.
We're about that slow.
Yeah.
He always has 2 on him at all times, and has a variety of ammunition types to give him an advantage in any battle situation. Does that mean he sleeps cradling his 2 shotguns?
No, they're holstered on him.
That would be so uncomfortable. What, does he sleep like a vampire?
No question mark? Technically, I'm not sure how he sleeps. So, you know, technically maybe. But also, no? Question mark?
The cards...
Okay. Sorry.
I'll continue until you have to, The guards aren't bleeding, however. It seems Van Helsing is using rock salt again, which doesn't cause lasting damage. The windows on one side of the car shatter and guards swing in from the roof, trying to flank us. And now here is where we need saying. I hope everyone's been having a good weekend so far. Been enjoying this small bit of stream. What to talk about? What to talk about? I don't know. It's the waiting game.
Helsing, watch out! He's dead by now.
Pitiful.
Alright, AC took so long to yell the warning that he's just dead now.
So dead. So dead. But that's fine. We can have one dead vampire hunter.
Not during his route.
What? Yeah, you sure?
Yeah, he could die in some other route, maybe, but like not his own route. That's no good.
They call this a surprise attack. In an instant, Van Helsing's gunfire knocks the soldiers right out the windows. The windows that they literally just broke through. Mm-hmm. Pushing them out the way they came in. Gosh dang it.
Actually, that's exactly what you just said.
I think you just killed them.
What? No, he doesn't use the killing bullets. That means he doesn't kill anyone.
He knocked them off of a moving train. They are dead.
They entered into a moving train.
What?
They entered a moving train. They're fine.
They are then hitting the ground at full force and dying.
They're elite agents. They're fine.
Van Helsing is a murderer.
Yeah, it's called being a war hero.
Twilight's really lowered their standards.
He's like, these are not incompetent fools. Wait, I take it back.
It's not like when
they are now, actually.
When I trained them. Reminds me of that old cat movie, Oliver. Hello, Malik. Oliver. Oliver. Oh, that is an old movie.
What's his movie?
1968.
Oh, wow. That is old.
Oh, it's an adaptation of Oliver Twist.
Adaptation, you mean?
Yes. That's the word.
That's the word.
That's the English language. This kind of lukewarm assault would not have passed as an attack when I was part of the organization. Back in my day, when I was in Twilight, I trained the soldiers.
Back in my day, they were actually competent.
I trained these soldiers to take out a fly at 10 paces blindfolded. These youngins...
Snappers aren't even competent.
These youngins can't even take a bullet.
They can't even take some rock salt. How will they season their food?
I hope you've been having a good weekend or week or whatever, Malik.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday morning. Happy waking up on a Monday morning.
Wow.
That would be my reaction if they heard if anybody heard what we just did. Or if I heard what we just did as a watcher. Wow.
Wow.
Just wow.
These idiots. Wow. Yeah. Maybe he just might be able to handle this single-handedly.
Yeah, just woke up.
Isn't that basically what Van Helsing said, is that he could do this alone?
Yeah.
He's like, I could do this in my sleep.
And then everyone's also like, no, we're going to make a whole operation. He's just like, boom.
He's just like, all right, when do I get to shoot shit?
Just woke up. Yeah, I mean, I would also hope to just wake up at 9:30 a.m.
I don't want to be awake at 9:30 a.m.
I mean, that's a nice sleeping in for me.
For you.
Because of my disgusting work.
Yeah.
I would, if I didn't have any baggage. The real action is about to start. Victor, I need you to cover our backs. The moment he says this, the windows on the other side shatter, and more Twilight troops start piling in.
Not soldiers, just troops.
Just troops!
Like Girl Scout troops.
No.
Or Boy Scout troops? I don't know. Are there female soldiers in Twilight? We're not really aware.
That's a good question.
I guess back then, like, women probably weren't allowed in the military.
Probably not.
Are women allowed in the military now?
Yes.
In Britain?
Oh, Britain probably.
I assume so.
Britain probably. I would hope so.
Well, in, like, every unit? Like, something like Twilight. The super secret organization in the first place. It seems like it'd probably be a boys' club. No! Or sorry, no! Sorry, I'm not awake enough yet. I'm still drinking my first coffee.
This site I'm on says since 2018 they've been able to serve in all combat roles alongside male colleagues.
Okay, so only 4 years ago.
Yes, only 4 years ago.
So when this game came out, they couldn't.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it.
Ooh.
Did you say woo hoo 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 hoo?
No, I just said woo.
Okay, in 1992 they were oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. Well that's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Combat roles remained closed to the vast majority of female soldiers until 2016, despite the fact that women had already been present at the front for some time.
Yeah.
You
say this like it's super surprising. But, like, I mean, that's why I asked, is because it's, like, an actual question.
Yeah.
When this game came out, they could not.
What year did this game come out?
Originally come out?
That's a good question.
Code Realize originally came out in 2014 in Japan.
In 2014, the Women in Close Combat Review paper recommended ending the ban on women in frontline infantry and armored corps roles. So basically, a paper came out being like, "Hey, we should probably let women serve elsewhere."
And then they took a while going.
Then in 2015, like an actual full year late after that paper, the prime minister was like, "Hey, we'll let women in," and then like in 2016, the ban on women serving in a very specific corps was lifted. And then in 2018, they're like, "Yeah, women can serve anywhere."
I guess relatively that's quick progress from when they started making progress.
Yeah, it only took 6 years compared to...
Like, from when they started making progress.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Very particular caveat to that statement.
Yes. Stop wasting time whining and shoot them. If you're too slow, you'll die. Then Helsing continues to fire, taking down soldiers with every shot. Victor glances over to my hiding place, then nods.
I'm not backing down. I can do this. Leave it to me.
Yeah, I got this! I got this! Victor throws a glass tube towards a group of soldiers hiding behind the seats. With a dull popping sound, many of the enemy troops fall to the ground. Wah!
I don't intend to kill anyone, but I have to stand my ground.
Unlike Van Helsing, who even though is using rock salt has killed a few people. That's the spirit. Don't worry about me. Use everything you've got to take them all out. The battle gets more and more intense. Van Helsing shoots the soldiers entering from the front of the car, while those in cover fall victim to Victor's glass tubes. How many does he have on him?
Yes.
Like, where does he hide them?
Yes?
Is this like merchants where under their coat is just lined with merchandise? Victor just lined his coat with glass tubes to make people explode?
I mean, are you questioning where Van Helsing hides his ammunition?
I assume he has, like, attachments on his jacket.
Okay, so? Why do you question where Victor's stuff is?
Because those glass tubes... How many glass tubes? How did he get the materials?
He made them.
He made the materials?
Yeah, maybe. He makes a lot of shit, right? Dot.
Oh, yes. The best line in the game. ...
AC also doesn't believe me, but you know, it's fine.
Van Helsing himself had taught me that it's very difficult to overwhelm an enemy when fighting in a small space. Even with that in mind, Victor and Van Helsing still seem to be invincible. Well, so long as no one hits him and shatters them on his person.
It's fine. Everything is fine.
Like, imagine Victor getting punched, one of the tubes breaking, and it just explodes.
Everything is fine.
Then Victor would have multiple explosions because the other glass tubes would then explode. That's a lot of
times do I have to say everything is fine?
Because it's not fine.
No, everything is fine.
Says the dog in the middle of a fire.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it will really only take the two of them to nullify all of the Twilight soldiers guarding this train. But even as I'm thinking this, the stream of soldiers seems never ending. I start to wonder where they had all been riding. Also, how many soldiers are in Twilight? Or do the soldiers that get shot out somehow not actually die, and then they're like, okay, I'm getting back on the train, ah! Okay, I'm getting back on the train, ah!
They just respawn. It's a video game without some good respawning enemies, right?
Beating Jesus is respawn time. I said beating Jesus is respawn time.
Most enemies.
I mean, that is true. Most enemies don't take 3 days to respawn.
Unless it's like Zelda Breath of the Wild. With however long it takes for the Blood Moon.
Yeah, I don't know how long it actually takes for the Blood Moon. Or what the requirements.
It's like a week or something.
Is it actually? Let me check.
Like an in-game week or something?
Ah!
It might be more. It might be less.
Wait, how did I do that?
What'd you do?
I accidentally hit the auto button.
The one I was talking about earlier?
What line were we on?
That one. Auto is slow, especially if you haven't messed with the settings.
Okay. Oh, right, because, like, skipping was so slow, and then I'm like, whoop!
Yeah, that's why I told you to change the skip speed. By default, it's pretty slow, actually.
It's disgustingly slow.
I don't know why they made that the default either. Most of the games, it's not like that. But I guess in this case, they were just like, yep. You didn't need this to, like, go fast, right? I'm like, I kind of did want it to, actually.
Oh,
but
I didn't realize that.
Hmm?
The Blood Moon also restores material, like, if weapons are lying around or materials are gone, it, like, despawns or respawns them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, so if you think about it, like, the monster camp areas, basically those will reset. So in that sense, you know, if there are weapons and stuff lying around in there...
Oh, okay.
They would all need to reset, right?
So, Blood Moon are initiated after 2 hours, 48 minutes of live gameplay.
Oh.
Or, if you kill so many monsters, you overload the memory because it can't remember you killed that many monsters and it's just like, yeah, Blood Moon, respawn them all. Clear the cache.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, if you're in the middle of a boss fight, the boss's health will completely regenerate.
That sucks.
Blood Moons can be interrupted by entering specific areas such as ancient shrines and Hyrule Castle before midnight, though the game will simply try to spawn it the next night.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So yeah, it's literally just a little under 3 hours or murder a lot. Like, a lot.
Explains why you get them so frequently in game if you've been playing for a while.
Yeah. Because, I mean, 2 hours... And
if I play all day, I'll get, like, so many blood moons, and I'm just like, what the fuck? It's because I play slow. That explains it. That's the reason.
It's because you've been playing 3 hour increment, like, more than 3 hours.
Whoops.
This just didn't stop playing Breath of the Wild for more than 3 hours.
No. Breath of the Wild for me is binge or nothing. I either play it for like 10 hours a day or I don't play it. Like, I'll stop and then I'll suddenly get like really hooked on it again.
Yeah.
And then I'll just kind of stop again.
I mean, that's how I was with Octopath.
Yeah. There are some games you can't play it in small increments. I don't know. It's not possible. It's just not possible. You can't do it.
I mean, yes, you can.
No. Didn't you hear me? It's not possible.
Isn't that how some mobile games are revolved around? Playing them in, like, small increments? Or Animal Crossing? You're supposed to just play it, like, a little bit, like, a day, like, do your chores, talk to the people, okay, you're done for the day.
That's what they claim, but they're lying. I mean, just look at how many hours people poured into Animal Crossing.
That was because there was a pandemic and they had nothing else to do.
No, even without the pandemic, people did that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have all the terraforming and stuff. You weren't intended for anyone to just play for hours on end. They expect it. It's not, like, the only way to play, but it's certainly not unusual.
Victor suddenly stops throwing tubes. He's run out. He's got to go into his crafting menu to make some more.
Wait, no, he can only do it from the workshop.
No! His face is twisted with disappointment. I look at his hands and see his relatives. I was joking, game.
I mean, but it's how that would work.
I mean,
right?
yes.
It is how that would work.
He would only have a finite number. He can't keep throwing them.
Much as he would like to.
A soldier swings it. Now he doesn't have to worry about getting hit and it exploding on him. Now he just has to worry about not getting hit.
Uh-huh.
A soldier swings in through the window and lands right next to Victor. He's in danger.
We would like to come out of hiding.
Gosh, dang it, game!
We are not gonna leave him fucked. Victor!
I shout and come out from behind the seat. The Twilight Soldier turns towards me, his sword pointed at Victor. But I'm faster. The best way to send the maximum amount of force at an enemy is to use my entire body. I
just
throw
like Van Helsing taught you, just body slam them.
So I throw myself at him. I lead with my shoulder and charge into the man, sending him flying. In a moment of panic...
No, ... is not the best line. The best line is...
Hmm?
All the ... question mark or ... exclamation are the best lines, actually.
The soundboard where we just have different...
For each character, they need a different one, you know? Each character gasps differently a little bit.
Oh, we're so dumb. In a moment of panic, I lose my own balance and tumble to the floor. I try to get up, but another soldier is already standing above me, about to strike with his sword. He's about to have no sword. I'm going to die. The moment I think this, a gunshot fires and the soldier is thrown aside. Because he is dead instead.
It was rock salt. Just think, that's the mantra of today. It was rock salt. It was fine. Van Helsing, thank you for saving me.
Twitter post, Sharky, this man died! Satan, she was rock salt. He'll get up after a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
aren't they elite super soldiers? They should be fine. And if not, they don't deserve to be in Twilight.
I mean, Impy survived it, right?
Yeah. If Impy survived it, then the super elite agents should totally be able to survive.
The only difference is Impy is a vampire.
The super elite agents should totally be able to survive.
Hopefully they have bulletproof vests.
They're super elite agents. I hope they have vests.
I thought I told you not to get in the way. But your quick thinking is worth notice. Good work. The two of them handle wave after wave of soldiers. But the enemy attacks get more and more intense.
You know, at this point, I think it's only Van Helsing handling the waves of soldiers if Victor ran out of tubes.
Victor! Punch! Out of my arm!
Well, I don't think he'd sound quite so pathetic. But yeah, basically.
I love how you're like...
He's smart enough not to punch them in the first place.
I mean, yeah. At this rate, Van Helsing and Victor will be overcome. Even with their skills. As I think this, Van Helsing looks over at me. That's enough. It's time to run. Victor and I nod. Our objective is to lure the soldiers here, then disconnect the rear train cars to cut them off from the Twilight Leader. There are enough soldiers here in this car. All that's left to do is dash through the crowd of enemies and cut this car off. Victor and I run after Van Helsing. The Twilight soldiers standing in our way are shot down over and over by a storm of bullets from Van Helsing guns. How many bruises are they gonna have?
Yes.
They're gonna, like, go home and just be covered with bruises. They'll, like, wake up the next day and be like, I can't move.
Sorry, who's covered with bruises?
Twilight soldiers.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
That's your mantra for the day.
No, when they get to the part where Deli shows up, they're not fine.
Enough to consider a career change, hopefully.
So true.
I'm not paid enough for this. I'm not paid enough for this. I'm not paid enough for this. After running through several train cars, we turned back to look at the ones behind us. Victor, cover me.
Right.
With what?
Right. Yeah.
Messing up your voices.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is true. You have two voices. I only have.
I'm tired.
My brain's dead.
I'm tired.
And my brain's dead. Nice to meet you. Who are you again?
I don't know.
Oh. Then why are we doing this?
I don't know that either. For fun? For fun.
What is this fun you speak of?
I don't know. Are you not having fun?
What is this fun you speak of?
Yes, we're not having fun. Well, rip.
Waiting for somebody in chat to say F is for friends who do stuff together.
Use for uranium bombs?
That's later in the song.
We're at the verge of World War III right now, so...
That's after Plankton says F is for fire that burns all the something down. And you say you don't sing. Rude, Malik.
Yeah, right, Malik? Call him on it. Call him out. Call him out.
AC, you're up. Break the connector. I'll handle any enemies that approach.
Leave it to me.
I don't sing.
You sing.
I say, and then Friday, while I was waiting for Satan, I was sitting here singing songs. Just nobody could hear me then.
Okay, but I don't sing, and I don't sing in public are different things.
No, I don't sing. Maybe I'm just lying to you.
I mean, you are a lying liar who lies, but I don't think you're lying about that one.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
I crouched down and started attaching the device I was given to the connector. The device is fairly complicated to install, but with all the training Impy had given me, I'm able to handle Sharky brain.
Is operating at what percent capacity?
2.
Maybe higher than I expected.
Were you expecting me to say 0?
I don't know.
Well, what were you expecting?
Well, I said maybe higher. This is because I have no expectations, actually.
Good to know that you have no expectations of me.
I expect for you to stream on Sundays.
Until I don't
play this game.
I was about to say, until I don't anymore?
For the duration of us playing this game, I expect you to stream on Sundays.
And unless you're not here?
Or unless you, for whatever reason, have a conflict.
I purposely don't.
Those once in a while.
Well, I've purposely, we've been doing stuff on Saturdays. I've specifically, like, I can't do Sundays. Unlike you, I block out my time.
I do sometimes.
So when are we doing the movie night?
Kima, like, do you have your work schedule yet?
What about anybody else? Weren't you supposed to put that in the Discord?
Well, Alex said they didn't have their work schedule yet, so, you know.
Could have put it in the Discord, and then, like, people could reply.
Oh, you do? Great.
The device is fairly complicated to install, but with all the training Impy had given me, I'm able to handle it easily. Got it yesterday to start today. They should probably I mean, that sounds pretty common, but also they should really give you your schedule, like, with a few days beforehand.
It'd be great to have advance notice.
Yeah! I quickly disengage the safety.
It's done. Now, he's usually better than that.
This week was just a bad week. Van Helsing's guns go off nearby. I take out a wrench and screwdriver and quickly secure the device. It's supposed to set off a directed blast that will precisely destroy the connector.
It's in place now.
Set it off. I mean, I know here it can be pretty common to be like, day before, here's your schedule. See you first thing in the morning. Gosh dang it. Connector breaks with a muffled explosion.
I'm so glad it worked. It's an ambient device, so I wasn't sure it would.
No, it was causing an explosion. You know that will work. Because that's all MP devices do, is explode. Soldiers realize what we've done and rush over, but Van Helsing's guns keep them at bay. The final cars gradually fall behind, with many of the guards still on it.
Yes. So far, so good.
This is no time to celebrate. We're almost at the track switch.
Oh, that's right. I'll keep my guard up. Don't worry. But there shouldn't be any more enemies, right? Then...
As I say this, several troops appear from the back door, where we had just cut off the train.
What? How are they coming in from there?
This is endless. They probably came over the roof thinking we wouldn't be watching in that direction now. Ah, good. They've entered the endless mode of the waves.
Uh-huh.
Where it's just survive as long as you can and get a good score.
Uh-huh.
Van Helsing takes several shots without missing a beat, backing away while keeping the enemies from advancing.
This is strange. There are still so many soldiers left, and we haven't seen Lupin's signal. What's going on with this group?
I don't remember. From the looks of this situation, all I know is that it can't be going well. What the...
No.
are those clowns doing? Listen closely, AC. Victor and I will take care of these guys. We need you to go 2 cars ahead of us. From there, climb up onto the roof. Maybe should notice you up there and take you somewhere safe for the time being.
What about you and Victor?
A tube thrown by Victor explodes against a soldier trying to climb in a window. I thought you were out of tubes!
I guess he did go into its crafting.
The game said he was out of tubes and now he throws another tube?
Yep. He did go into his crafting window after all. No, he had to unlock the next compartment. Maybe he's got a little box. And then there's like multiple levels in the box and he had to open up for the next level, but you know, that takes more time.
My brain running at 2% is frying right now. This game lied to us.
Maybe it's an empty tube.
But there was an explosion sound.
Well, it just says the tube explodes. But if you shatter a tube, it explodes. If you just throw a tube, it'll shatter.
But then you would say a thrown tube by Victor shatters against a soldier trying to climb through in the window, not explodes.
You know, maybe the localization team had some fun. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, they do that.
Sometimes.
A lot of the time.
People were making fun of the Twisted Wonderland localization.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they have a cater, and because in Japanese, he like will say as like a cute nickname like K-kun, but because there's no like kun in English, right?
Yeah.
So they had a line that was like, or you can call me KK if you're cray cray.
Oh, I love it.
I've used that multiple times.
I love it. I love it.
It's like the localization team had some fun here, I see.
See, my favorite will always be Adorables. Where, like, when you go into the bestiary, and look at the, like, the description of every creature, they had a blast translating all of them and just filling them with all the jokes. I'm like, this localization team had fun. Cause what were some of them? Let's see. Can I even see some of them? They probably won't have them. Like I'd have to probably find. Oh, yeah, this one. It's a lizard with 2 heads, right? It's the description is 1 body, twice the lizard. Rap battles itself regularly, but always loses. That's because it spits so much poison on the mic, it melts. Like, they had a blast. And every one of the descriptions is just as dumb.
Good. I'm glad.
I should really replay that. Well, Victor?
I don't have many left, but I can still fight. Don't worry about us. No, you know what the reasoning was? They didn't have another version of the spray where he didn't have the test tube, so he suddenly has to have some again.
Then don't say he was out!
He was out on one side and didn't have a chance to, like, check. It's fine.
This game. Go.
Yeah.
Run as fast as you can. Van Helsing's words give me an extra push and I start to run. I mean, it makes sense because, like, yeah, he doesn't have, like, they don't have the Sprite and they're not gonna make another Sprite. That costs so much money. But, like, fix the words.
Yeah?
I run through the car where Victor and Van Helsing are fighting and into the next. At a glance, there don't appear to be any enemies in here. If I can climb up to the roof of the next car, Impy should see me. I take a breath and tell myself that it'll be alright. Everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
When I suddenly hear footsteps approaching from the car ahead. A Twilight Soldier enters the car. A Twilight Soldier wants to battle.
Oh no, he made eye contact.
Time to fight.
Wait, Nemo's not here? I assume.
Maybe there are still a great many soldiers on board, like those we had encountered earlier. Wow, one of them actually talks.
Holy shit.
I've been ordered to capture you. I spin to the side and barely avoid a quick swing of his blade. The next instant, the man has the tip of his sword at my throat. Don't bother trying to resist. I was about to say the same thing, idiots. What? Before the soldier can turn around, Lupin sticks some sort of needle into the man's neck, and he dies!
It's fine. Everything is fine.
With that, the soldier slowly collapses and doesn't breathe.
It does not say doesn't breathe.
Nice job with that anesthetic, Victor. It works like a charm.
Lupin.
Hello, AC. It would appear that your group has run into some roadblocks as well.
Lupin, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be breaking the connector closer to the head of the train?
We encountered some difficulties. I hadn't accounted for this horrible weather.
A weather?
There's a storm outside. The ornithopter couldn't approach as easily as we'd like, so it can be some effort to get me here.
Van Helsing told me to join MP.
That was a good idea, but it's not possible. It's all MP can do right now just to keep up with the train.
Then what should I...
It's going to be fine. We just need to tweak the plan a little. Trust me and come with me. That'll be safest.
All right.
He looks me in the eyes, then smiles fearlessly. Right, let's continue the mission. It's time for round 2.
Ding, ding, ding.
Fight! We've strayed from the plan, but we still have to dislodge that connector. We'll keep moving forward and climb onto the roof of the car right before the one the leader's in. Can you move silently?
Are you able to skip at this point?
Yes!
Hi, Herlock. Bye, Herlock.
Hi, Herlock. Bye.
Well, not by Herlock. All right. Well, I guess it auto stopped the skip.
No, I auto stopped it.
Okay.
Because you were saying something like, ah!
A little bit further, maybe.
Like, how much farther?
Try like 3 seconds? Count to 3 slowly.
That was 3 seconds.
This is not too far off.
Should we just go slowly from now on?
Yeah, we can just go from here.
What is he talking about? I open my mouth to ask, but I'm cut off by a voice coming from behind the man.
This conversation is unnecessary, Alistair.
Fine. Be your usual cruel self, denying this old fool the joy of conversation. The man referred to as Alistair chuckles to himself and moves aside. The person standing behind him is... a child!
A different child.
A different child, not the potato.
This is not a potato.
This is not a potato.
We finally meet, sister.
The speaker is a young boy sitting on an armrest of one of the train seats. His hair is a white golden color. His eyes are jade, each a different shade. His voice is as cold as ice, and he turns a thin smile towards me.
Sister? Who are you? Oh, that's right. You wouldn't know who I am. You were always asleep. You only awoke a year or so ago, but you have knowledge, don't you, sister? You and I share the same father. That would make it a simple matter to figure out why I call you my sister, yes?
Sister? That means we must be related by blood. And he has a connection with my father.
Could it be... Are you... my younger brother?
The boy nods, satisfied.
Yes, indeed, I am your younger brother. My name is Finis. What's more, I am currently the leader of Twilight and the person you've come here for. How can you be my brother? It's the truth. I am your brother, your one and only remaining family member.
For now. So surprised I forgot to breathe. Can't believe I have a brother. And that the sibling sitting right in front of me is the Twilight Commander. Who could have imagined it?
You and I have inherited the dreams of our father, Isaac Beckford. We inherited his dreams?
Can't help but repeat what he said.
Do I surprise you? Of course. Anyone would react this way in discovering that the people hunting you are led by family. What's more, you have something you want to ask me, don't you? About why Twilight wants you. About the horologium in your chest? About your memory, perhaps? Why your body is filled with poison and what it is?
I'm not going to tell you all of that, but I think you have the questions on it.
I know all their questions. I just, am not here to answer them. But I'm here to taunt you about them. Because I know exactly all the things you want to ask.
You have
and
to
of course, about whether or not it's possible to remove that poison.
We have to wait, 4 more chapters for that, the answers.
Several more routes. How did you know? How? You're funny. You mean your crew tried to trap me, but you fell into our trap instead.
I activate my trap card. Haha, well I activate my trap card!
I leaked the information that I would be aboard this train, knowing it would reach your ears. It's just a touch of a liar regarding the amount of security that would be with me. I just wanted to meet you already, so I threw out some bait to lure you in. You know, after finishing Undertale, I'm like, geez, there's a little too much overlap with Flowey voice.
Hi, I'm Flowey! Flowey the flower!
Hi, I'm Flowey. Flowey the flower.
I'm gonna kill everyone!
Here, why don't you take some love put?
Friendliness pellets!
Friendliness pellets. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kill everyone! Oh!
Stay there. Oh, is all this new information confusing to you? Don't worry, we can go over all of it again later. This probably isn't a very relaxing place for you.
And we will go over this information again and again and again.
Alistair, we've secured my sister. Let's go.
A dull explosion shakes me to the core, and the man who had me at gunpoint earlier nods. We've just wrapped things up as well. I turn back and see the train car behind us falling behind, getting farther away. This means that I've been isolated from Lupin and the others.
No more interruptions. Now we just...
Suddenly, the window shatters as someone leaps through the glass to stand between Finis and me. Badoop? Twilight soldiers react quickly, but faster still are a fusillade?
I think.
Of gunshots that takes them down one after another. I'm looking up that word. Hold on. Every time I'm going to be looking up this word.
Probably because I also never remember it.
Fusillade.
Did you hear that?
It sounded like fusillade?
Fusillade.
Fusillade. I mean, it was either going to be fusillade or fusillade, because it looks French.
Learning the English
This is
language.
English, so we butcher it.
Learning the English language with Sharky and Satan.
It seems you spoke too soon. We have an unwanted visitor, Alistair. Looks like you didn't quite finish your job.
Don't be too hard on me. Most plans go awry when you're up against the human weapon.
Thank you, Van.
And Helsing doesn't let me finish. He holds up a hand to stop me and keeps his distance, staring at Finis. Nobody move. If anyone so much as lifts a finger, I will shoot this man. I'll shoot Finis. Van Helsing points a gun at Finis. He's completely calm and seems to have firmly set his mind on a course of action. Sensing his tense, murderous intent, the few Contra soldiers around us show no signs of taking action.
Now, who do we have here? The infamous Abraham Van Helsing himself. It's been a while, hasn't it? When did we last speak?
Quiet.
You've always been nothing but empty threats. Why don't you just pull that trigger instead of wasting our time?
Shut up!
Well, the head or the heart. Strike out at any part you like.
I said shut up! And Helsing roars and at my brain. Agitation?
Agitation?
My brain does not work right now. Please leave a message after the ding. Beep.
That's not a ding.
Exactly!
No messages, I guess.
No messages. Because the brain can't handle it. Okay. This is what happens when my brain decides it doesn't want to work in it today.
See, you reserve the stream time, but you don't reserve the stream brain space.
That's very hard to do.
Is it?
Yes.
Meh.
Because if I didn't do anything, I would also be tired because I didn't do anything all day. So, like, that's a losing battle.
Well, find something to do that doesn't completely melt your brain.
What's that?
Something that engages your brain instead.
So, 100% games, all I know is melting.
Okay, Olaf.
No. Olaf is frozen.
No, he starts to melt.
But then he gets better.
And he gets a little snow-clad to keep him cold.
Van Helsing roars in agitation, and his gun roars along with him. Part of the metal seat beside Finis is twisted out of shape in an instant. Try to joke around with me again, and I will kill you without hesitation.
Kill me? You can't kill me. It's impossible.
Would you like me to try? He cocks his gun. And I think earlier he said, yeah, shoot me. Shoot my head, shoot my heart, shoot wherever. So I think he did say, try.
Uh-huh.
Taking this for a sign, the Twilight Soldiers more in unison.
Probably supposed to move.
More in unison, take fighting stances with their slender blades.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they more in unison.
They more in unison. The man standing next to Finis, Alistair, takes a step forward. Hey, Abraham, take the gun down, or put the gun down, won't you? For old time's sake. I can't do that, Alistair. Van Helsing responds without hesitation. Do these two know each other? I remember that Van Helsing had said he was a member of Twilight in the past. I have only a moment with my own thoughts. Finis, I'm going to kill you here and now.
But Van Helsing, this whole mission...
If I can kill Finis with my own hands, that becomes my top priority.
See? I told you, we do know who he's after. He said it in this chapter.
And then what happens after chapter 8?
What happens after chapter 8 depends on what route you're on.
Ha ha, so funny.
It's not even a funny thing, it's just true, actually. Van Helsing! You can't make up your mind.
What?
Again, you're wasting an opportunity with unnecessary talk. You won't pull the trigger because you can't make a decision.
As bad as making decisions as I am.
Do you fear dying? Or perhaps you fear her dying? Or no, maybe. Are you afraid that I won't die?
Even if you kill me, I won't die.
People die when they are dead. Except Finis, maybe.
Or the ever classic, I swear if you die, I'll kill you.
Yes.
And Helsing says nothing and just glares at Finis. His gun trembles slightly, but I can't tell if it's from rage or fear. I can't move. The strange atmosphere permeating the room has completely swallowed us. At this rate, we'll... press the skip button?
Uh-huh.
Whee! Chapter
just wanted to
5.
go through that part to confirm we do in fact know who Van Helsing is after.
Chapter 5. Potatoes Requiem.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But I'm also not right.
Potato Requiem.
Requiem for a potato.
Yes. Requiem for a potato?
Yes.
Or of a potato?
Wow, this is the longest we've heard Impy's song while skipping.
Uh-huh.
What do I say?
We are saying
Gosh dang it!
that we think it's a good idea. What are we saying it's a good idea too? Oh.
Thief. Probably get the...
catching the thief?
Yeah, getting the bounty on the thief. Yeah.
Yeah. We say it's good. I think it's a good idea. Like Victor said, we can't spend too much time worrying about trying to find money. If we need a lot of money and soon, then I think it's necessary to put ourselves into a risky situation.
You're right. The fact of the matter is that we really do need the money. Then it's settled. We'll go right straight to this lowly cut purse. I think I sense some hostility here. After we talk some more, I guess I press the skip button again.
Uh-huh.
Yay!
Yay!
We're getting so far. We're going so fast.
Wow. For now.
We're going so fast. We're going so furious.
So furious.
There's a potato. He's furious.
Yeah, he is furious. Yep, exactly. We want. Wait. I think you skipped past all the parts we wanted as well.
Oh?
Oh, wait, no. No, okay, not yet.
Yeah.
We persuade him.
Should I skip that? Because we're not at the point where we go...
We go on.
Yeah, we're not at the point where, like, Van Helsing goes to the mansion.
Yeah, on. Oh, wait. We should maybe go through some of this. There.
Here, I'll go here.
You caught up. Read it anyway.
Van Helsing says nothing, glaring sadly at the boy before us.
You!
It's been a while, son of the dragon.
I left that name behind. I've taken on the name of my father.
I see. So you want me to call you Delacroix II instead, Dracula?
You know, it's interesting because I think I mentioned it before. Like, in English, they made it Deli. But Japanese, they do go back to the Dracula.
Oh, really?
Name. They call him Dora-chan.
That's adorable.
Uh-huh. Which one's cuter? Deli or Dora-chan?
I don't know. See, I hear deli and I just think of, like, the meats.
Potato salad?
Yeah, I think of a potato salad.
Deli with the potato salad?
Do these two know each other? I'm about to ask when In an instant, Delacroix slides in close to Van Helsing and swings a fist. Van Helsing blocks the punch with his gun, but the force of the impact causes him to jump back to avoid falling over.
Dare you! You dare to show yourself in front of me? Have you no shame?
Exactly, I don't. Keep going this way and you'll fall to the darkness, just like me.
So dramatic. Seriously, go up to Van Helsing and just go, why are you such a dramatic bitch?
Do not fall to the darkness, Sora.
I understand why, like, Lupin's a dramatic bitch, right? But, like, Van Helsing, why are you a dramatic bitch?
Don't follow the darkness, Sora. It will lead you away like it did to me.
You have no right to talk, Van Helsing.
The attack is intense. The boy throws a storm of punches, too fast for the human eye, but Van Helsing calmly blocks them. Because what's the human eye to him?
He's a human weapon. I'll kill you! I swear it!
Unfortunately, I can't die quite yet. Van Helsing swings his gun, but Delacroix jumps back to avoid the strike. The two glare at each other. There's no room for anyone to intervene, but... Found them! Over here! Hear the other bounty hunters closing in. They finally caught up. Delacroix looks away for a moment.
Van Helsing, I'll wait for you at the place where you murdered my father. ... If you do not come, I will hunt you down and kill you, and every last person who is important to you.
Oh, good. Guess you're only killing me then. No big deal.
Same goes for the rest of you. Everyone.
Dang it.
Frankenstein's like,
I have
on the run as it is.
I have no part of this. Why am I gonna die?
AC's like, I don't even know where to find my dad, so good luck. Lupin's like, I'm a thief. You don't even know who I am. Impy's like, well, the old man in my entire village is already dead.
So really, the worst that they can do is kill Lupin. And Van Helsing's like, okay, do it. Kill me. Dare you.
Van Helsing's like, go for it. Wait, I can't die yet, though.
Do it later.
Yes!
Yeah, I was waiting for a gasp.
Yes, but the Discord will actually pick up.
His eyes are full of murderous intent. When he glares at me, I can't help myself from taking a few steps backwards.
Our paths have crossed for too long. We shall bring an end to this.
I still cannot unsee the smiley face on his hat.
Like, yes, but not the time. You're not wrong, but this is not the time.
I will kill you all! But the smiley face on his hat, though. Hi, I ruined dramatic scenes.
Wait, were we supposed to not ruin them?
With that, he disappears into the night before anyone can do anything to stop him. Can I skip now?
Yeah.
Now that Deli's gone?
For now.
Ba-da-da-da-da! Ba-da-da-da-da!
We cannot skip this part, because we do have to ask.
Yeah!
I
Ask about his past!
I want to ask you about something personal. I can't stop thinking about it.
Are we gonna try to finish this chapter today?
I don't know. The train part took longer than I expected.
Because we were bullcrapping. And saying random things like, these Twilight soldiers.
I mean, also because I thought we could skip most of the train. Then I was like, oh, right. We didn't go through the Van Helsing and Frankenstein part last time, so we can't actually skip all this. You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
But we did meet the potato.
We did meet the potato. So we've at least met our goal.
I
didn't lie in the social. We did meet the potato. We haven't adopted the potato, but we did meet him.
Next Sunday, potato adoption event.
The next Sunday title, if we remember, will be sign here to adopt a potato.
Again, probably a very serious moment where we're talking about his past. Now we're talking about a potato adoption.
Uh-huh. ... That boy, Delacroix II. Did you kill his father?
Van Helsing falls silent for a while. I hope you're having fun, Melik, and anybody else who's watching.
Enjoying
us.
The classic stupidity
of potato adoption.
A very cute potato.
You just have to find the right potato. The right potato for you.
Mm-hmm. Give that potato a forever home.
That broke me.
I don't think you needed to say so. I could already tell it broke me.
Oh, that was so dumb. It was so good. No, that's the tweet.
All right, you're responsible for remembering it next week.
Better for you to make it a draft or something.
Why don't you make it a draft, then?
I don't know how to make drafts.
We'll figure it out.
Always a pleasure to be here. Oh, at least we can give people something to laugh at.
In the impending World War III coming.
Yeah. They'll come. Somebody will hop into the stream and just hear potato adoption and be like, "What the crap are they talking about?" And laugh at the ridiculousness. For some reason, the silence begins to frighten me. Yes, it's true. I killed him. I don't know Van Helsing very well, but that simple admission eloquently conveyed the immense weight he bears on his chest.
I see.
You see. We all see ice cream.
I want ice cream.
Then go get it! Actually, no, don't get it right now. Get it after stream.
I was gonna say, do you want me to go get it?
No, get it after stream and after you put a message in the Discord about movie night.
Okay, what time for Saturday? If we did it Saturday. Or is Saturday not an option?
I can do it on Saturday. I don't have anything this Saturday.
Okay, I'll add a Saturday listing.
It's the undeniable truth. I took that boy's father away from him. His words are stern, distant. He's telling me the complete, unabridged truth, but he doesn't look my way at all. It almost feels like he is telling me that I have no business asking this about him.
Well, she kind of doesn't.
It's late. Go to bed and rest up. He turns back to the mansion as he says this. I can't respond to him at all and merely watch him as he walks away. When you walk away, I press the skip button.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thought. I'll just skip till we're at the mansion.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Well, until we find Delacroix, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, literally, I was waiting till we got to this screen.
Yeah.
I forgot there was like a hallway and some stuff.
Uh-huh.
We suddenly
They had random assets early on that they didn't need very much.
Yeah. And
just like Flower said about arcade spirits.
Yeah, there's this one-off guy, and we decided to put him in a few places. We suddenly enter an open space, a large room the size of a great hall. I see wide, luxurious staircases and elaborate chandeliers. Although everything looks worn out now, their presence speaks of the past splendor of this mansion. And then a potato comes.
A potato has appeared.
I love the black bars, and it's just like a very like zoom in of the potato.
I've been waiting for you, Van Helsing.
It's like they're trying to get that cinematic feel.
Uh-huh.
Standing at the center of the stairs is the pure-blooded vampire, as if he had been waiting this whole time.
I still have your head in this place, where my father spent his last moments.
We all tense up at these hateful words.
Are they hateful words, or are they just like true?
Both? True words can also be hateful words. Depends on the intent.
Yeah, but like... Anyway.
However, without hesitation, Van Helsing steps forward without even drawing his guns.
Van Helsing?
Stand back and watch. Whoa! Are you sure you don't need our help? Wow, I get to voice Impy today.
Mm-hmm.
This is my problem to deal with. You can all stay back here.
You're not just skipping all of Impy's lines.
Yet.
For now. Ho, you came with a retinue, but don't seek their help. I don't care if you all attack me at once.
I mean, that might have been like one of the only Impy lines I voiced throughout this entire playthrough so far.
Yeah. It's just a matter of having more dead bodies to clean up afterwards.
Okay, but how many graves did you dig out back? Or you're not even going to give them graves?
A lot of clean up, actually, though.
Yeah, like that. Like, you already were, like, talking about murdering everybody they loved. Like, you already started at a high body count. You sure enjoy talking, Delacroix. Do you fear me? Why don't you go ahead and kill me if you hate me that much? That is, if you can.
Van Helsing? Because we've been skipping. Didn't Finnis say this to you like 10 minutes ago?
He was...
This is exactly what Finnis told you 10 minutes ago. You're just stealing his lines now?
Yes, exactly. He's channeling Finnis.
I have a comment, but I can't say it.
Spoiler! No spoiling! Spoiler! No spoiling!
I'm not spoiling! Because I'm not saying it!
Yeah, you're not saying your line either! ... There! You said your line, thank you! ... The tense atmosphere, the air around the boys seems to soar. Oh, we're so mean to each other.
Very well.
He brushes his cape back and raises his fists. Just take the cape off, you'll be better at fighting.
No. I too want to be a dramatic bitch.
Van Helsing can grab the cape!
But I want to be a dramatic bitch! If my nemesis can do it, so can I! I don't think I'm the same as before. I have been training endlessly for the sole purpose of ending your life.
What the protagonist says right before the midway point where he gets destroyed by the boss. Just to then have to train some more before beating the boss.
Protagonist potato?
Yes. A protagonist potato fighting.
My father's regret, my mother's misery, and my people's anger will all be avenged here and now.
I'm trying not to ruin this moment. But the hat! What? What'd you say?
Nothing. Read your line.
Smile. ... Alright,
Tom Van Helsing.
His speed enables him to close the 10 steps between them in an instant. As we expected, Telequalisecond's physical abilities are extraordinary. ...
Do you take me for a fool? You don't even have your guns out. What's the phrase? Suns out, guns out?
I was gonna say, I don't need those guns. I have 2 guns right here.
Hey, just imagining Van Helsing in particular saying that is the funniest shit.
That's why I said it!
I know. I know why you said it. Thanks.
I'm laughing too hard. Help. Oh.
No.
Van Helsing takes every one of the boy's punches without so much as a change in his expression. I thought you said you were gonna punch me. If you're gonna punch me, then punch me!
Then stand still! Stand still so I can kill you! What's the matter? Are you gonna fight back? ... You... How far must your mockery go?
About another 20 minutes. Van Helsing brushes aside an unending stream of punches and kicks, doing nothing but fighting defensively.
Stream. Oh no.
What?
What's that unending stream? Oh no.
It's the stream that goes on and on. But how is Van Helsing able to block these attacks so easily? From what I saw at the auction, the child's fist holds a tremendous amount of power. Is it really possible to take this many blows, even though they may not all be direct hits?
When you're Van Helsing. He isn't taking the force of his foe's attacks head on.
Hey, wow! Probably your only Saint True mainline so far.
At least today.
The Count speaks out as if reading my mind.
The hits aren't hitting him directly. He's able to skillfully avert them in different directions to lessen the impact. But that method of fighting is probably something only Van Helsing can do. No normal person would be able to react to Delacroix's attacks in this way. His reputation as the human weapon is earned.
Does that mean both of them are superhuman beings above the range of what's considered normal?
Yes, AC, keep up.
I suddenly recall my past of being called a monster and being hated. For some reason, this scene before me of two people fighting for their lives looks sad to me.
Are you sure he doesn't need help? You will definitely die if you take one of those punches, AC.
There's probably no need.
What?
We're not going to abandon him, it's not what Van Helsing wants, and I'm sure he has some sort of plan. If we think he's in dire danger, we'll go in and help, and we won't take no for an answer. Until then, we should stay out. Just like Van Helsing says, this is probably something that he needs to tackle on his own.
Something he has to do himself. Don't worry, Van Helsing is strong, and I believe he has a good heart. He'll figure out a way. Hi, Mog. There's suddenly a cat squirming around on me. Hi. Hello. Do you want something?
To say hi.
What do you want, hon?
Murder.
I mean, he is a cat.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow.
Okay.
I nod hesitantly at Victor's points. As we watch the fighting progress, it all changes suddenly. Look, you're doing the stance all wrong. This is how you have to stand if you want to punch me better. Van Helsing sinks his fist into the boy's abdomen. ... Van Helsing wastes no opportunity when his opponent loses balance, delivers a blow to Delacroix's head with his elbow. No, the hat!
Oh no!
No, the hat!
Now no more being distracted by it.
The boy jumps back in defense, however.
Jumps back in defense mode.
What's his defense points? 50! Dang it! By that time, Van Helsing has two shotguns out and already pointed at Delacroix. Angry Potat.
Distraught Potat.
Move and I'll shoot. The tables have
I guess we are adopting him today.
Yeah, I guess so. The tables have completely turned from his defensive fighting earlier. The hunter...
The turns have tabled.
And the hunted. A tense silence fills the space between them.
So, I can easily avoid anything you try to shoot at me.
Would you like to try it? If you do, it will cost you your life. Delacroix, gasp!
Cat purr first, sorry.
Sorry, there's no cat purr in the mic.
Sorry, do I need to pick up the mic and move it closer?
No.
Can it even move close enough? I don't know if it's picking up at all. I don't think so.
Discord might be filtering it out.
Probably. But kitty purrs!
You would have to, like, turn off some of the settings in Discord, then not filter that out.
Purr, 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 purr.
You yourself should already understand. You are far weaker than your late father. You cannot defeat me.
Then shoot!
I only seek your surrender. I had no intention of harming you from the start, except for getting a little, like, making you a little bloody.
What is the meaning of this? You would show me mercy now that it's far too late?
I'm warning you. Don't move.
Then why didn't you show us this mercy 2 years ago?
I don't want to shoot you.
You If it wasn't for you, Mother and Father would still be alive.
The boy leaps forward and is shot. I gulp at the dull boom of the gunshot. Delacroix is rolling on the floor as if he'd been thrown back. I warned you. Not a single drop of blood stains his clothes. Instead, there are white shards. I immediately realize what they are. Rock salt. Van Helsing had no intention of killing the boy from the very beginning.
I'll kill you!
Even after being shot, Delacroix stands up. Van Helsing fires another shotgun blast, and the vampire falls to the ground. The potato's just getting seasoned before being adopted.
Yes, but still. Like, roughly seasoned.
Adds the flavor.
Tenderizing?
Yeah, you're tenderizing the potato with salt.
That just makes it sound like you're gonna eat him. That's concerning. No potato salad, okay?
Read the line, please.
I will destroy you and everything you hold dear.
Even then, Delacroix tries to stand up once again.
Scenes.
What?
So about ruining serious scenes.
There's the scenes that we cry in, and then there's the scenes that have the hat.
Oh, you can't cry if there's a hat?
Not one with the smiley face on it.
Oh, Sharky. Ah!
Delacroix screams as the gunshots continue. Stay down.
I will get my revenge, no matter what. I will never forgive you for betraying my parents' kindness. Ah! Ah!
His body's blown away like an old rag and rolls across the floor.
Van Helsing. Enough, Van Helsing!
It seems like Delacroix has finally lost the strength to withstand more gunshots and has stopped moving. His face is twisted in pain. It should be clear that you're no match for me, Delacroix II. There's no way you can defeat me with your capabilities. And stop stealing treasures. Humans can be more cruel than you can imagine. If you don't stay on your toes, you're going to be consumed someday. Like the potato you are. Give up trying to take your revenge out on the entire human race.
I will never forgive you, Van Helsing. Not you. Not ever!
Yes, I'm the only one deserving of your ire. Van Helsing stands and looks down at the boy for a long time. But you can't kill me just yet. There's still something that I must do. But once it's all over, I'll kindly give myself to you to be killed. I deserve as much.
Van Helsing. The AC lines in this chapter are just Van Helsing! Van Helsing! Van Helsing! Van Helsing. Like every line.
Every line? Delacroix II, my death must put an end to your quest for revenge. Don't turn your hate on anyone else. Delacroix slowly rises to his knees, shaking. He apparently has no more strength to resist, and Van Helsing lowers his guns.
What is the meaning of this? Are you trying to atone for your crime? I will not let it happen. You can't hold out a helping hand and pretend that you're good. ... Just kill me. I could never face mother and father knowing that I had accepted your sympathy.
I don't need to kill you.
Kill me! Kill me!
Dot, dot, dot. Dot, dot, dot. The boy crumples to the ground. For a while, his crying is the only thing to break the silence within the hall. Outside, thunder roars in the distance, dully echoing through the house. I don't know the truth behind the war 2 years ago, or what war is really like. I only have knowledge from books I've read, and I don't understand war very well. But to me, Delacroix II and Van Helsing both look like victims carrying the weight of their sadness from those events.
Dot.
A huge mansion has gone to ruin. He was probably living here all alone for the past 2 years. Just like I had been in Wales. No, his pain is far greater than mine. A hatred that he can't do anything about, and an anger that burns through him. His suffering must have been immense. But that hat, though... That hat
finally, I have lines that aren't just Van Helsing.
I speak hesitantly.
Do you think we could possibly bring him back with us? Him? You mean Delacroix?
What? AC? What do you say that's impossible? The kid's been saying he wants to kill us. It never even crossed my mind as an option. I've got to say, I'm against it.
I can't agree to it either. His presence puts us all at too much of a risk to be acceptable.
As I had expected, everyone disagrees. I could tell that Delacroix, leaning on the staircase to support himself, was quietly looking at me. AC, why would you want to do that? You must have a reason. Now that Lupin's asked, I start to explain my reasons, little by little.
The reason is he's a really cute potato.
After getting seasoned half to death.
I think it must be very lonely for him to stay here all by himself. I think that's very sad. At first I didn't realize it, because being alone seemed so natural to me. But now that I look back, the years I was alone were a very painful and trying time in my life.
I try to explain myself, but the words just aren't coming out, and I get frustrated.
I think there are a lot of things he won't see or understand. Not as long as he remains here. That's why I want you to come with us. I think things will start to look different to you with the change of scenery. Does that sound crazy?
Yes. AC! ...
Yes, that certainly does sound outlandish.
Delacroix suddenly starts talking.
Why are you so desperate to help me? You don't even know me, so why should you say things like this, as if you cared?
His gaze is sharp, searching for answers. I look directly back at him, staring into his eyes.
And then get hypnotized by vampire powers.
No, no, no.
My life's not been as difficult as yours, but I know a little bit about loneliness. That's why I want to try and do something about that. Even though it's a dangerous situation, I also know the pain of losing parents.
He remained silent for a long time.
So you presume to know how I feel, and now you're trying to save me? Your opinions are worthless. I'm sorry.
Delacroix takes a breath, then looks around the hall before turning to me again.
This place is the mausoleum of my people, my family. tomb needs a keeper. I cannot leave this place behind.
Isn't revenge your only desire? Van Helsing suddenly speaks up. Then, for the sake of those who rest here, you must keep an eye on me, so that when all is said and done, I won't just change my mind and take off. Kill me someday, then you can return here, with that act as your memorial to them.
Can I trust you, Van Helsing?
Yes. I don't believe that something as small as this will atone for my crime. But, right now, that's as much as I can offer you. Van Helsing falls silent. Delacroix doesn't say anything either, and simply stares at him. There's a long silence. Finally, in a soft voice,
Fine. I will come with you.
Skip!
Uh-huh. For the rest of the chapter, I guess.
Yeah.
There it is. And then we won't have much in this chapter, I think. Or very much the one after, although I would love to just go through the Van Helsing canon.
Yeah, definitely this chapter is going to be very light.
Yeah, it doesn't have that much on Van Helsing.
And I mean, there might be an option that we choose that we didn't choose last time, but like...
Yeah, but it shouldn't be as big of a difference as the train, I think.
No. I mean, and even now, the train chapter will be very fast for everybody else, too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Did I save?
Yes, you just did.
Okay. I don't trust myself. I always triple check by saving 5 times.
I mean, that's a good habit.
But anyway, thanks for joining. We'll be back Wednesday?
Should be.
For Lovingly Evil.
Where instead of a vampire hunter, we'll be dating a vampire.
Maybe.
Well, we'll be trying to romance a vampire.
Unless we start talking about something else.
We're supposedly romancing a vampire.
Have a good rest of the day.
Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye.